The MEC Digital Network proudly presents the 2025 Mountain East Conference Baseball Tournament, and we welcome you live inside beautiful Go-Mart Ballpark in Charleston, the great capital city of West Virginia, where by Sunday a champion will be crowned in this outstanding NCAA Division II Conference. Game 1 on day 2 of action in this double elimination event will feature West Virginia State University from nearby Institute going up against Frostburg State University out of Frostburg, Maryland. West Virginia State comes in at 27-21, the number 2 seed in the South. Meanwhile, Frostburg enters at 34-15 and is the number 2 seed of the North. Greetings from Charleston, along with analyst Tom Bragg and our great crew. I'm Mark Martin. Delighted to have you with us. Coverage of today's game is being produced by Video Productions in conjunction with the Mountain East Conference and is being presented by Cardinal Chevrolet. Tom, great to be back with you for day 2 here. Gorgeous morning for college baseball.
Yeah, you don't get out to the ballpark this early often, particularly back in the minor league days when I was spending a lot of time here. So it's fun, man. This is just a gorgeous ballpark. The weather's cooperating. It's just going to be a great morning for baseball, I think.
What do you see in this matchup here between the number 2 seeds in this 6-team event?
Well, I think it may come down to pitching in this one, and if you've got to lean either way on that one, maybe you tip to West Virginia State. The starting pitcher for the Yellow Jackets today, JT Fabian, has faced this Frostburg State team already once this season, got the win March 23rd on the road in Maryland, went 5 innings, allowed 5 hits, 2 runs, only one of those earned, walked 5 and only struck out 1, but the Yellow Jackets get a 7-3 win. He gets the W in that.
Yeah, some impact players in this one for West Virginia State. A Yellow Jacket leader the last several years is Nate Paulson, right fielder out of Bridgeport, West Virginia. Paulson was a first-team All-Mountain East Conference pick, comes in with a .360 batting average, 9 home runs, 6 doubles, 34 runs batted in. He's done all that despite being injured most of the season. We'll get into that later. Frostburg features the Mountain East Conference Pitcher of the Year in senior Patrick Bauer. Bauer, of course, was also a first-team All-Mountain East Conference selection, led the league in wins with 9, had a conference best 1.82 ERA, and was the top man in strikeouts with 85. Sean Lloyd is in his 11th season as the head coach at West Virginia State. Anthony Williams is in season number 6 as the head coach for Frostburg State University. Yesterday's action in the first game, Point Park, the overall seed, was a winner by a final score of 15-5 down in Concord. Meanwhile, the University of Charleston, the 3-time defending champs, knocked off Fairmont State in the nightcap by a final score of 9-3. So after this game today, it's going to be a matchup of the 2 teams who were defeated yesterday, Concord and Fairmont State, in what will be an elimination game. So already we've hit the stage where one team is going to be sidelined before the day comes to an end.
Yeah, a good team is going to go home today between Fairmont State and Concord. I was here for both of those games yesterday and yesterday evening, and those were good ball clubs. They just ran into 2 of the best teams in the conference in Charleston and Point Park, the top seeds from each of the divisions here. So, yeah, it's high-stakes tournament baseball time, Mark, and someone's going to have to go home today. But one of these teams is going to fall down into that loser's column as well, but someone else is going to go on into the winner's column. Should be a good matchup.
Frostburg State coming in with a team batting average of .303. That's 3rd best in the Mountain East. West Virginia State at .272. Frostburg has the top ERA in the league at 4.29. West Virginia State at 6.33. And again, the Mountain East Conference Pitcher of the Year will be on the mound here today for Frostburg, and West Virginia State countering with JT Fabian. So we're getting close to our first pitch here between the Yellow Jackets of West Virginia State and Frostburg. Take a look at the lineups, and for West Virginia State, Kyle Waters will lead it off and be the shortstop. Michael Bittinger will be at second base and bat second. Nate Paulson will be in right field batting third. Brody Gunther will be at third base in the cleanup spot. Connor Pfizer will be at first and bat fifth. Tyler Overitis will be the catcher and bat 6. Batting 7th, Ethan Barnitz will be the designated hitter, and Ethan Spolrich will be in left field batting 8th, and Aiden Paulson will be in center field and bat 9th. For Frostburg, Jackson Shalik will be in left field and lead it off. C.J. Carmichael will be the shortstop and bat 2nd. Mikey Guy will be at 3rd and bat in the number 3 spot. Ryan Boma will be the cleanup hitter and will be the second baseman for the Bobcats. Jake Holler will be the designated hitter and bat in the number 5 spot. Doyle McNew will be at first and bat 6. Cada Breeze will be the catcher and bat 7th. Manny Hall will be in right field and bat 8th. Brian Scott will be in center field and he will bat 9th. We'll come back, have the opening pitch of Frostburg and West Virginia State here on the MEC Digital Network.
For over 4 decades, the health plan has called West Virginia home. It all started with a vision to serve our community with pride and integrity. We've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming part of its fabric. We've been here through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Because at the health plan, we don't just work here, we live here. The health plan, a proud corporate partner with the Mountain East Conference.
No weekend plans? Try some of ours. From unrivaled outdoor adventure you won't find anywhere else in the world, to hometown plates and platters that pair well with the local craft beers. The happiest hours start here. Mountaineer Country. Come, go wild.
You have dreams.
A better life, a better job, a better you.
So where do you start to build the skills necessary to get there?
At West Virginia State, you are not just a number, you are who you choose to be.
You receive personal attention from award-winning faculty.
You study in nationally recognized programs.
You learn the skills that will get you the job you know you can have.
No matter where you want to go
or what you want to do,
it starts at State.
What's possible when you have the freedom to explore things that inspire you? To be a part of a community that supports and challenges you. Where can you go to find the space and time to reach your goals? Who can you become when you're able to make connections in a place where you belong? Find out what's possible at Frostburg State University.
Patrick Bauer will be the pitcher today for Frostburg, Mountain East Conference Pitcher of the Year. Lanky young man, and he has been a force this season. Cada Breeze will be the catcher. Doyle McDew at first. Ryan Boma will be the second baseman. Mikey Guy at third. C.J. Carmichael at short. Jackson Shalik in left field. Brian Scott in center. And Manny Hall will be in right field. Frostburg 34-15 overall, finished 18-10 in the Mountain East Conference. They were 13-5 at home. They were 19-8 on the road, and neutral site games 2-2 for State. Head coach Sean Lloyd 27-21, 17-13 in the conference, 16-11 at Cal Bailey Field. 10-7 on the road and 1-3 in neutral site games. Our umpires behind home plate will be Greg Losh. Chris Richards will be at first. Mark Mail will be at third. In the elimination game to follow, Concord and Fairmont. 3 games tomorrow, 2 Saturday, leads us to Championship Sunday. Tom mentioned it earlier. Teams split during the regular season at Bob Wells Field in Frostburg. State won the first game 7-3, 13 hits, lost 7-1 in the second game as Bauer threw a 2-hitter. So the pitchers they saw in that regular season doubleheader, Tom, are the guys we're going to see here today.
Yeah, both of the guys that got wins get the chance to pitch against each other now in the rubber match.
So Kyle Waters steps in, and this game gets underway at 10:04, and we are underway here on day 2 of this Mountain East Conference baseball tournament at beautiful Go Mart Ballpark here in Charleston. Waters 321 on the season, 52 hits, has driven in 29 runs, 8 home runs, 8 doubles, 2 triples. Bauer with the pitch, and this one lifted up. And coming over right on the right field line is Boma, and that is out number 1. We're going to battle the sun here today, Tom.
Yeah, you absolutely are. As I was mentioning in the pregame, there's not a whole lot of baseball played this time of day in this park. So some of these guys maybe that have played here before, you're going to be dealing with a little bit of a different situation with the elements and having to deal with that bright sun because it's booming right above the stadium right now.
This is the home of the professional Charleston Dirty Birds team. As Bauer sees Michael Bittinger, and Bittinger skies it to center field, and 2 up, 2 down here. Brian Scott, the sophomore, making the grab out there in center for the Bobcats. So the Dirty Birds had a early game yesterday, an early game with a lot of school children here, a grand slam for school day. So it started early, so the Mountain East had games in the evening, and just to switch it here today, Dirty Birds will be at home tonight. So busy place here at Go Mart Ballpark as Nate Paulson, the all-MEC performer, steps in. What a player he has been for Sean Lloyd at West Virginia State. Out of that great program at Bridgeport High School under Bobby Shields.
Coach Shields, one of my favorite high school coaches around in the state. Of course, very, very successful.
Yeah, he's won a few games here.
I was going to say, very successful right here in this stadium. We were talking about Coach Shields during the Charleston game last night, Jack Withrow and I always tell my favorite Robert Shields story. He's telling me his philosophy on coaching third base and when to wave the runner in on a play to the outfield. He says every time. I do it every time. You're asking high school kids to make 3 throws and 5 decisions? Yeah, I'm sending the guy every time. And it's worked out for him. He's won a bunch, so maybe there's something to that.
Players like Nate Paulson, a big reason why, and of course his brothers on the team as well. Swing and a miss by Paulson. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, leads the team to the .360 batting average, 9 home runs, 6 doubles, has driven in 35. Tied for the lead there with Brody Gunther. Count now full to Nate Paulson. Greg Keaton in the third base coaching box for West Virginia State. Assistant coach Wyatt Shears is in the first base box. He's a redshirt player for State. Sean Lloyd and the rest of his staff manning the dugout. Pitch coming and hanging tough is Paulson. Bauer went to Mount St. Joseph High School there in Maryland. Pitch coming, and Paulson delivers it into center field. Base hit number 1 of the game. Off the bat of all Mountain East Conference performer, Nate Paulson. Really like what Reed Amos and his staff do with the MEC at events. Honor those Mountain East Conference selections prior to a game.
Yeah, it's really cool having everybody out and having the commissioner to present you with your all-conference trophy. I'm sure there's some leagues out there where you might get a certificate in the mail. Well, not in the Mountain East.
So Brody Gunther will step in, and he looks at a called strike. Gunther, a junior out of Canada. .344 batting average. 56 hits on the season. And again, he has driven in 35. Bauer limited State to just 2 base hits in that win by the Bobcats in Frostburg. Hammered foul. No ball and 2 strikes.
Brody Gunther tied for the West Virginia State team lead with 35 runs batted in, Mark, but no home runs this season. The guy he's tied with, Nathan Paulson, he's got 9 home runs on the season. So not putting the ball over the fence, but hitting them and driving those guys in.
All right, here is going to be a tough play. Safe at first will be Gunther. Well, it was not an easy one to get to, and just no one there at the bag when needed. And thus State with 2 runners aboard here with 2 outs in the top of the first.
Yeah, some miscommunication defensively by Frostburg State there as we go to the replay. You see ball kind of ends up over in no man's land there, and the first baseman comes in to get it second base, late getting over. And State lives to fight another day here with 2 outs.
Yeah, McNew had to charge hard. Connor Pfizer, the first baseman for State, will step in here for Sean Lloyd's crew, graduate student, St. Albans High School baseball product, great head coach there, Rick Whitman. He's won some championships here at Go-Mart Ballpark.
Now, Rick Whitman, high school teacher of mine at Nitro High School a long time ago, but I've known Rick a long time. He's won a whole lot of ball games during his time. They've got a good program over at St. Albans.
His late father, Dick, was a sensational football coach here in the Kanawha Valley and
coached some pretty good guys along the way.
A guy named Randy Moss. Runners are going, and that's going to be a called strike 3, and that will do it. Bauer getting his first strikeout. So State had a little action on the base pass, but they leave them empty. We have played a half inning here, and we head to the bottom of the first here on the MEC Digital Network.
Trying to find where you fit in the world can be challenging. But then there's a moment where it all comes together. And that moment happens at Point Park University. Career-focused programs converge with a vibrant downtown campus to prepare you for work and life. From experienced professors and internships to culture and job opportunities, you'll get the best of both worlds. Point Park University, where it all comes together.
No weekend plans? Try some of ours. With a generous serving of historic sites, foodie eccentricities, and brewery diversions, the happiest hours start here. Mountaineer Country. Come, go wild.
Get a good look there at JT Fabian. Southpaw for the Yellow Jackets of West Virginia State. Getting the start here today. You watch live coverage of the 2025 Mountain East Conference Baseball Tournament. Presented by Cardinal Chevrolet.
Mark, if you notice, we've got a little bit of cloud cover coming in finally early in this game. That no clouds, bright blue sky, that sun was booming out there. But a little overcast now might make things a little easier for some of those guys on pop-ups. Jackson Shalik leading things off here for Frostburg State, and it's half of the first.
Well, State got a couple of runners aboard, a couple of hits. Shalik lifting this one up and going to be out of play. Jackson Shalik. Out of Elmer, New Jersey. One ball and one strike.
Shalik batting .311 on the season, .523 slugging percentage. 6 home runs, 34 driven in.
Anthony Williams, outstanding head coach for Frostburg in the third base box. Brian Worth, one of his assistants, holds things down there in the first base coaching box. 3 balls and 1 strike here to Jackson Shalik. the sophomore. And Fabian giving up the walk. That's his 40th walk issued this season. C.J. Carmichael, the shortstop, redshirt freshman for Frostburg, will step in now. .324 batting average. 1 home run this season, 9 doubles, 2 triples. And has brought 61 home. Anthony Williams, mentioned in his 6th season at Frostburg, started out with that COVID season, and since then, well, they've just really gotten it going. 4 straight seasons of 30-plus wins. He's a native of Pasadena, Maryland. Went to Slippery Rock, played baseball there. Last season, Frostburg, a D2 Atlantic regional appearance.
Well, Mark, we talked about it some yesterday with the addition of Point Park to an already strong baseball league. I mean, Frostburg not brand new, but still relatively new to the Mountain East Conference. What was already a very good conference has become just outstanding across the board. Both of these teams like UC, teams like Point Park, the 2 teams that lost last night, we mentioned good teams, Fairmont State and Concord. This is such a deep baseball league.
And that Point Park team, impressive.
They put the ball in play.
They do. And UC, Dean Peterson doing a great job there. Here's one drilled into center. Going back will be Aiden Paulson, and he is able to chase it down for out number 1 here in the bottom of the first.
And Paulson had to get on his horse and back to the infield, turn on the wheels, able to go back and bring that one in.
Mikey Guy hitting .381 steps in. Guy with 4 home runs on the season, 14 doubles, 3 triples, 67 hits overall. Leads the team in runs batted in with 50. Keeping tabs on Shalik there at first, who walked to lead off this bottom of the first. Mikey Guy, a senior out of Clements, Maryland, into St. Mary's Riken. Fabian's pitch. Tagged foul there by Guy. 0-2 the count. Set that state defensive alignment for you as Fabian fires over. Tyler Overitis is behind home plate. Connor Pfizer at first. Michael Bittinger is at second base. Brody Gunther at third. Kyle Waters is at shortstop. Count 1-2. Ethan Spolrich, a junior, out in left field. Aiden Paulson, the junior, in center. And Nate Paulson, a senior, in right for Sean Lloyd's crew. Count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Winner of this game will see Point Park tomorrow at noon. Oh, when balls are fouled off here, it seems like someone's car alarm goes off. Noticed that a lot yesterday.
Yeah, I think they've got something they play over the PA here.
Maybe that's what. Runner goes, swing and a miss, throw down and sliding in. Got him.
What a throw. Great job on the tag, but, man, the throw had to be on the money, and it was right there.
Overitis rifling down so they get the strikeout, get the runner, and the inning comes to an end. No score after one between West Virginia State and Frostburg State. You're watching live coverage of the 2025 Mountain East Conference Baseball Tournament on the MEC Digital Network, being presented by Cardinal Chevrolet.
It's about unlocking your potential and discovering your purpose.
It's about community and how we can better serve others.
It's about learning and doing.
It's about the journey and the road getting there.
It's about opportunities and the endless possibilities.
It's about finding where you belong, and it is here at Concord University.
It's about you, and it starts with you.
Attention all car buyers, it's deal time at the all-new Cardinal Chevrolet. Come see the team at Cardinal Chevrolet and let us show you what a great deal really looks like. No games, no gimmicks, just great prices on all the Chevys you love. If you want to save a buck on your next car or truck, come see us at Cardinal Chevrolet. Silverados, Equinox, Blazers, all recently reduced and ready for immediate delivery. Our best deals, your best time to buy. The all-new Cardinal Chevrolet. Exit 34 of I-64 in Hurricane, West Virginia. Together, let's drive.
Back inside here at Gomart Ballpark, ready to go with the second inning. West Virginia State closing out the bottom of inning number one against Frostburg with a 35th double play of the season as Mikey Guy strikes out, and then a throw down to second. Jackson Shalik was on the move, and nice throw by Tyler Overitis, and Kyle Waters made the tag.
So we see here on the replay, Overitis with a strike to second base. Had to be on the money, and it hit the bullseye.
And how often does someone make a great defensive play and then step to the plate to lead things off? Overitis is the guy. Drills one deep there, right center, but over to make the grab, Brian Scott for the first out.
Yeah, good contact on that by Overitis. You said it, Mark. We saw it a couple times last night. Guy makes a great defensive play. Well, who's in the batter box when the next inning starts? It's probably the same guy. It's Overitis. Didn't miss that one by much. Put a charge in it, but center fielder able to bring that in.
In State, guided by Sean Lloyd, 11th season, 288 career wins. Took over for the late, great Cal Bailey, who he spent 20 years with. Ethan Barnett's the designated hitter.
Has it really been 11 years?
Yeah,
it doesn't seem like it.
Doesn't. Barnett's a .304 batting average, getting his sixth start of the season. Has 2 home runs, has driven in 12, also 5 doubles on the season. Barnett's a product of an outstanding small schools baseball program here in the great state of West Virginia, as the count is 1-2. He was a Wahama White Falcon. Mason, West Virginia, not too far from here. This one skied up and will stay in the infield, and it'll be Boma making the grab for out number 2. His second put out of the day. So Ethan Spolrich will now step in for the Yellow Jackets. Spolrich, a product of Hurricane High School. And the great program there.
Yeah, I was going to say, speaking of great high school baseball programs in West Virginia.
Yeah, we've mentioned 3 already.
Hurricane's got to be right up there on the list.
We've mentioned 3 already. Bridgeport, Wahama, Hurricane, all state championship programs right here in the mountain state of West Virginia. 0-2 the count here to Spolrich.
Say 4, actually. We're talking about St. Albans. That's another program that's won state championships in the last decade.
I lost count. We've mentioned so many already.
Well, that's one of the great things about the Mountain East Conference is if you follow or are familiar with high school sports in and around West Virginia, well, if you're into the Mountain East Conference, you're probably going to see a lot of those same players competing at this level. particularly the ones from those successful programs played in a lot of high leverage, high stakes games, proved they can play at that next level. So you see it here in the Mountain East.
Well, the state program, they've always prided themselves on local talent, and then around the state, swing and a miss. Second strikeout of the game for the Mountain East Conference Pitcher of the Year. Frostburg comes to bat in the bottom of the second. No score here on the MEC Digital Network.
For over 4 decades, the health plan has called West Virginia home. It all started with a vision to serve our community with pride and integrity. We've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming part of its fabric. We've been here through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Because at the health plan, we don't just work here, we live here. The health plan, a proud corporate partner with the Mountain East Conference.
What's possible when you have the freedom to explore things that inspire you? To be a part of a community that supports and challenges you. Where can you go to find the space and time to reach your goals? Who can you become when you're able to make connections in a place where you belong? Find out what's possible at Frostburg State University.
Beautiful Go-Mart ballpark and all of its wonderful surroundings, the warehouses. Got that Camden Yards feel to it when
a little
they
bit,
built
yeah,
this.
a little bit. You've got the warehouses, you've got some nice restaurants that have moved into the area. Of course, the beautiful Capitol Market right down the street here on the east end of Charleston. It's hard to believe it's been here 20 years, but man, what a great thing it has been for this city and for baseball in the state of West Virginia. I mean, how many great games have they been able to host here? Tournaments like this, the high school tournament that's here every year. Marshall and West Virginia had more than 9,000 people in this building not quite a week ago. So just a fantastic facility here.
Ryan Boma, the second baseman for Frostburg, starts it out coming in with a .291 batting average. 6 home runs, has driven in 41. He's got 13 doubles on the season and a triple. JT Fabian fires here on the 2-0 pitch, and that's in there for a strike. Only the 8th strike delivered so far for Fabian. 2-1. 3 balls and 1 strike. A double play by State. Tom had only 3 batters coming to the plate in that first inning for Frostburg.
Now you had a walk and a strikeout and a caught stealing. Not a whole lot of pitches to be thrown there in that first inning.
3 balls and 2 strikes now as Boma fouls it off. Sophomore. Out of Brookville, Maryland, with the Sherwood High School, and he draws the walk. So the second walk allowed here in the game by Fabian. Fabian got that victory in that first of 2 games played in Frostburg earlier in the season in relief. And Bauer shut down the Yellow Jackets in the second game. So teams meeting for the 3rd time.
Fabian a little wild early in the inning for the second consecutive inning, issued walks to the first batter both times.
Designated hitter Jake Holler, a junior, looks at a called strike. Holler, a .402 batting average, 4 home runs, 27 runs batted in. Nice healthy cut. 0-2 the county, has 7 doubles and a triple. This one missing. Fabian deals a nice healthy cut there, but it is strike 3. First out of the inning, second strikeout of the game for Fabian.
Nice job to come back by the Yellow Jackets pitcher after issuing that walk to open the frame and get the punch out of the designated hitter Holler.
Fabian now with 39 strikeouts on the season. Doyle McNew, senior first baseman.
That's a great baseball name. Doyle McNew. Sounds like he could have played in the barnstorming days.
Young man out of Baltimore. Started at Towson. He's a senior. Also listed as a catcher. Manning the first base position today. 1-1 pitch. And yesterday it was Point Park 15, Concord 5 in the opener. Charleston defeated Fairmont State 9-3. So the loser of this game plays Point Park tomorrow at noon. The winner will face off with Charleston at 3:30. Three and two the count. McNew was ready to head to first there, Tom.
Yeah, tough assignment either way coming out of this game, but you got to think little extra added emphasis. Yeah, it's double elimination. You still have a chance if you don't get the win here today, as that ball goes wild into foul territory and the runner will advance on to second base.
Yeah, just went wide of Pfizer, and advancing will be Boma. So he's out there at second. Count is full to McNew. The pitch comes and he hammers it foul.
Oh, but as I was saying, Mark, maybe a little extra added emphasis to make sure you get the win in this one, because I don't think anybody wants to be up against elimination having to face that Point Park lineup.
Well, these programs have been in the championship the past two tournaments. Frostburg lost to Charleston 12-8 in 2023. Dribbler foul down the first base side, and a year ago it was UC defeating State 17-4. An error has been charged to Fabian on that pickoff attempt. Fabian kicks, fires, and that misses upstairs for ball four. Two runners aboard here. Third walk allowed by JT Fabian. Doyle McNew heads to first.
Both runners on base now via the walk. Fabian been avoiding the bats so far, but hasn't exactly been hitting the strike zone as much as he would probably like right now.
So Cade Abreze will step in now, the catcher for Frostburg. Looks at a called strike one. Out of Newport News, Virginia. Fabian, 2 on. He's got one strikeout in the inning. That's the lone out thus far. Trying to work out of a bit of a jam right now. 1 ball and 2 strikes. West Virginia State, the last program to win the MEC championship since UC went on its tear. Golden Eagles trying to win a 4th this season. Swing and a miss. And second strikeout of the inning, 3rd of the game for JT Fabian.
Yeah, feast or famine for the Yellow Jackets pitcher right now. 2 strikeouts in the inning, 2 walks in the inning.
Freshman Manny Hall will now step in, the right fielder for Frostburg. Hall hitting .303, 4 home runs, 27 runs batted in, has 3 doubles, 5 triples. One hit to Waters, flipping on to his second baseman, Bittinger, and that will do it. Frostburg will leave 2, and we head to inning number 3. No score here at the 2025 Mountain East Conference Baseball Tournament on the MEC Digital Network, being presented by Cardinal Chevrolet.
In life, things aren't scripted.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
You can get a lot out of it.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Talked about all the great views that this ballpark offers. Right there's one of them, Tom Bragg.
Yeah, beautiful view of our West Virginia State Capitol building here. Of course, you get a good view of it here. You can get a closer look down the road at University of Charleston Stadium, Laidley Field, host of the West Virginia High School Football Championships. And, I saw something recently on the internet, Mark, reminded me of the view from here, reminded me of the view from Laidley. There is a soccer team in Pisa, Italy, going up to the top division of soccer there, and its stadium is next door to the Leaning Tower of Pisa. You can see the Leaning Tower from the stadium there, like you can see the state capitol here at Gomart Ballpark. Just something I thought was cool.
That is indeed. Top of the third we go. Aiden Paulson, the center fielder, junior from Bridgeport. We talked about his older brother, and you got to follow in the footsteps of big brother sometimes. This young man has done just fine for himself. Sean Lloyd's probably saying, do you have any other brothers? The Paulson family has been good to the state program. Aiden coming in with a .245 batting average. He has 3 home runs, 3 doubles, a triple. He's driven in 14. He's ahead in the count. 3 balls and no strikes here in the top of the third as he faces off with the outstanding Patrick Bauer, the Mountain East Conference Pitcher of the Year. Count now full to the junior from Bridgeport against Bauer. And the payoff pitch, and this one is hit, and that is fair. Aiden Paulson down the line. They'll hold him up at first base. 3rd hit of the game for the Yellow Jackets.
Now Paulson up there, defensive swing, gets around on it though, gets it to sneak just inside the bag down that third baseline. State opening up its half of the third inning, getting on base.
State had back-to-back hits after the first 2 were retired in the first inning. And in steps Kyle Waters. Waters lifting one up to the second baseman, Ryan Boma, the sophomore, back in the first. And this one skied, and that one way back and going, and that is gone. Well, Manny Hall kept his eye on it, but he ran out of room. And just like that, State with a 2-0 lead as Waters drills his 9th home run of the season. A 2-run shot here in the top of the third at the Mountain East Conference Baseball Tournament.
Now Waters put a charge into that one, flipped it out there to right field. Hall, as you said, went back looking up. If he had just a few more feet, he might have been able to bring that one in. As we go to the replay here, see the right-handed Waters flipping that one out there, and it's just finds the spot in the fence, hits the top of that yellow out there. And that'll be a home run for the Yellow Jackets. Frostburg, I think, was questioning maybe where that hit on the wall, but we saw on the replay, hit that yellow strip up there for the round tripper. All right, caught the top of that strip out there, so home run credited to Waters.
His 7th home run given up this season by the outstanding pitcher for Frostburg, Patrick Bauer. Michael Bittinger, the second baseman, who flew out to center in the opening inning, stepping in now after that 2-run shot by Kyle Waters to give State the first lead of this baseball game at 2-0. One ball and one strike to Bittinger.
Hey, the big home runs fired up that West Virginia State dugout. They're making a lot of noise down there right now.
The Waters came into the tournament leading the Yellow Jackets in home runs with 8. Now he's at 9. Bauer on the mound with 9 wins on the season. Looking for number 10 today. Frostburg gunning for its 35th of the season. State its 28th. 2-2 the count. Bauer missing down low and away, so full count here. This was ripped into left field. Third base hit to start off this third for West Virginia State.
Yeah, Aiden Paulson started the Yellow Jackets off, sneaking that one down just inside the third base bag. Then the big shot from Waters, and now Bittinger on base. Yellow Jackets have something going here, and it's half of the third.
Now time for a little chat on the mound.
Yeah, it's just going to be a chat, though. No activity down in the Bobcats bullpen just yet. Got to think a pitcher of Bauer's caliber, we're just going out there to calm him down. It's still your ball, kid. You're not in any danger of coming out of this one just yet. Yeah, 2-0. Our score here. Favor of West Virginia State.
And Baltimore native and 6-year professional Michael Austin is the pitching coach for Frostburg.
And no hits yet today for the Bobcats. 5 in the hit column for West Virginia State currently.
Nate Paulson steps in. He has one of those coming back in the first. Bauer firing on to McNew. I don't know about you, Tom. That was fairly close play.
It was close, yeah. I think Bittinger, much better job that time of getting back to the bag. I think he was a little slow on the first attempt, able to get in there, though.
Bauer will gun over again.
Another close play.
This one drilled back deep, and it's gone. A second home run of the inning for West Virginia State. And Paulson, the all-MEC performer, drills it out of here. West Virginia State, a pair of 2-run home runs and still no outs.
Paulson saw one he liked, really got around on it, put a charge into that one, out over the left field fence. I was keeping an eye. I thought maybe the first base umpire might say something to him about the celebration as he flipped that bat after the shot, but didn't say anything to the player. I think he did go over and say something to someone on the West Virginia State staff, like, hey, maybe tone that down next time. But hard not to be excited when you get a big hit like that in a big game against one of the best pitchers here in the Mountain East Conference.
And in a big ballpark,
Oh,
too.
yeah. You got to get a hold of him to put him out there.
So Brody Gunther, who singled back in the first, he is in. 1 ball and 1 strike. One-two pitch, fouled out of play.
A bit of an odd season from West Virginia State this season, Mark. You know, we've talked a lot about this Strong Point Park team that's here this week. Well, the Yellow Jackets swept them when they played. That ball lifted out into left center field.
Ron Scott will come over and make the grab. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I talked to Sean Lloyd, and he said, "Hey, we've beaten teams that you're not sure how we did it, but we did it, and then other games, didn't go our way."
Yeah, as I mentioned, they swept Point Park. They swept Concord when Concord was in first place in the league. Got swept by a Glenville State team that had a very good season, or 3-4 to the Pioneers, excuse me, but team that's still good season, but not here this week. So just kind of an odd up and down season, but maybe not where you would expect from the Yellow Jackets. Then, of course, here today against the Mountain East Conference Pitcher of the Year in Bauer, 2 home runs, and they are hitting him hard this inning.
So Frostburg finally has an out after 4 straight hits, including a pair of 2-run homers. Her ball in there, and Greg Losh lets us know that was strike 2. To Connor Pfizer, was caught looking to end the first inning. Bauer had a 1-2-3 inning in the second. State hitting .462 at the moment in this game. 857th with runners on base. 6 hits for the Yellow Jackets. Bauer fires the 1-2 down low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hammered foul by Connor Pfizer. Count remains 2-2. After 2 scoreless innings of play, West Virginia State has put 4 on the board here. Another foul ball. West Virginia State captured the first 2 Mountain East Conference Tournament championships, beat Notre Dame, no longer a member of the conference. 3rd straight foul ball by Connor Pfizer.
Real battle here between pitcher and batter. The last pitch was the 7th pitch already of this at-bat.
State had lost to Notre Dame 7-3 in the championship setting. And so then in the second game, They defeated Notre Dame 4-1, and Pfizer is gone. That battle ends with him popping up in the infield to McNew there at first base. So two are gone. Tyler Overitis will step in now. Flew out to center field in the second. State in 2015 defeated Shepherd 8-7 and 5-4 on Championship Sunday to capture a second straight crown. Both games won in 10 innings. And then in 2016, it was Shepherd beating State 19-2. And State won it again in 2021, and a year ago was the runner-up to the University of Charleston. So since the Mountain East Conference was formed, this great West Virginia State program that was so dominant during the old West Virginia Conference days, just part of the MEC and took right off.
Yeah, Mark, I was in Beckley in 2015 on that Sunday for the two 10-inning games. I believe those State against Shepherd. Was that who that was? Man, that was a long day, but what a day it was for State. What a day today. What an inning this has been so far for the Yellow Jackets. 4 runs on the board already here.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Canton, Michigan's Tyler Overitis. Patrick Bauer trying to close out of what's been a tough inning. Guns, and this one laced and coming on and making the sensational grab in right field is Manny Hall. West Virginia State, a pair of home runs, 4 runs are scored, and they lead it here inside Gomart Ballpark. One of those homers off the bat of all MEC performer Nate Paulson. You're watching the 2025 Mountain East Conference Baseball Tournament here on the MEC Digital Network, being presented by Cardinal Chevrolet.
Team with a river in the middle. Take me to my hometown. My hometown is your hometown. It's got a gold dome, heard the picking on the fiddle.
Well, we welcome you back here to Gomart Ballpark in Charleston, the state capital city of West Virginia. Who to the bottom of the third inning, West Virginia State hammering a pair of 2-run home runs in the top of the third, and they have the 4-0 lead, and JT Fabian on the mound for West Virginia State has yet to allow a hit. Brian Scott, the center fielder for Frostburg, the sophomore, leading things off here, the number 9 hitter.
And no hits so far for the Bobcats. 3 walks issued, though, and each inning has started with a walk, so something to keep an eye on here as he starts out 2-0.
Scott lifting one foul. Three balls and 1 strike. And that is ball 4.
So for the 3rd consecutive inning, each inning of this game so far, for Frostburg at least, when they've been at bat, has opened with a walk issued by JT Fabian. No hits, no runs, though. So State's been doing what it needs to do to back up the pitcher.
Jackson Shalik will step in and swings at the first offering, and Aiden Paulson, the center fielder, drifts over and makes the grab for the first out. The All-MEC first team, the catcher was Evan Ulrich out of Charleston. Matt DeSanti was the first baseman from Concord. Omar Murillo was the second baseman out of Point Park. Kyle Waters, West Virginia State shortstop. Mikey Guy, the third baseman from Frostburg. The utility player was M.J. Hunter of Concord as C.J. Carmichael steps in. He flew out to center back in the first, and he looks at a called strike. Jack Bayer of Glenville State was the designated hitter. Jared Campbell, Jackson Shalik, Nathan Paulson, and Quentin Reap making up, and nice play there at second. Bittinger to Pfizer for the second out. Scott moves on to second. And then your pitchers, Patrick Bauer of Frostburg, Javier Cardoso, we saw yesterday for Point Park, Jack Ray of Frostburg, Jake Robinson of Concord, and Harold Boyce of Point Park. Outstanding first team. In the Player of the Year, Jared Campbell from Point Park. Pitcher of the Year, Patrick Bauer of Frostburg. Tyler Skeen of West Liberty was the Freshman of the Year. Good pitcher. And the Coach of the Year was Lauren Torres of Point Park.
Of course, we saw Campbell show why he was the MEC Player of the Year with that. Turned it in a roundabout way, a walk-off home run. And it put the mercy rule into play, but it was his shot that brought us to an end yesterday afternoon.
Mikey Guy ahead in the count. 2 balls, no strikes. He struck out to end the first, which was a double play because he struck out, and then Shalik was racing toward second, and he was gunned down by Tyler Overitis. Shalik was tagged by Kyle Waters. 3 balls, no strikes now to Guy. Trying to get that second free pass here in the bottom of the third. Fabian's pitch off the mark.
That'll send him to first.
2 base runners aboard now.
It was close, not sure. The way he reacted, I wasn't sure if it was ball 4 or if it might have clipped him there, but he didn't. They never made the signal that it got him, so ball 4 issued. Another walk here. Still no hits.
Ryan Boma steps in, walked to lead off the second, and then moved to second on an error, but was stranded there. Frostburg leaving 2 aboard in that bottom of the second. 1-0 pitch, and that's a called strike. Evens things at 1-1.
And Boma able to lay off that one, but clips the corner on its way through.
1-1 pitch. Drilled foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. JT Fabian loved nothing more than to record a second win of the season over this Frostburg team. Bauer trying to register a second win out on the mound for the Bobcats against the Yellow Jackets. Fouled off. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jake Holler, the designated hitter, is on deck for Frostburg. An opportunity here for the Bobcats to recover from what at the moment is a 4-0 deficit, thanks to a pair of 2-run shots by West Virginia State in the top of the third. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Deuces Wild here at Gomart Ballpark in the bottom of the third. And that gets away from Fabian. Count now full to sophomore Ryan Boma. Brookville, Maryland, Sherwood High School, Well, he's going to take his place at first base. Gets hit by the pitch. And Sean Lloyd will come out. And this team right now with a 4-0 edge over Frostburg. 2 are gone here. Maybe more of a strategy move than anything, perhaps.
Yeah, I think so. No action in the state bullpen. Still no hits allowed here by Fabian, but a pair of walks and a hit batter in this inning has the bases loaded for the Bobcats.
Fabian has struck out 3, including Jake Holler. Holler, the team's top hitter at .402. He has 4 home runs on the season. He has driven in 27. 0-1 the count.
Yeah, he's one of the big bats in this Bobcats lineup. Definitely a guy you want at the plate right now if you're Frostburg State.
Fabian, nice stab there by Overitis. As the count moves to 1 ball and 1 strike.
Big cut there for the second strike.
Fabian now ahead in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded here in the bottom of the third. West Virginia State leading 4-0. Fabian has Holler fouling that one off. As the count remains 1-2.
Now, Holler struck out first time up in this game, looking to avoid similar fate here.
Count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Fabian gets out of the inning with the bases loaded. His 4th strikeout in the game, and still no hits for Frostburg. We head to the 4th. You're watching live coverage of the 2025 Mountain East Conference Baseball Tournament on the MEC Digital Network, presented by Cardinal Chevrolet.
For over 4 decades, the health plan has called West Virginia home. It all started with a vision to serve our community with pride and integrity. We've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming part of its fabric. We've been here through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Because at the health plan, we don't just work here, we live here. The health plan, a proud corporate partner with the Mountain East Conference.
We head to the 4th inning here at Gomart Ballpark in Charleston. West Virginia State on top of Frostburg 4-0 in the battle of the 2 number 2 seeds of this 6-team tournament. Frostburg, the number 2 seed of the North, State, the number 2 seed of the South. Ethan Barnitz will step in. The young man from nearby Mason, West Virginia. Popped up to Frostburg second baseman Ryan Boma back in the 2nd inning. Swings at that offering from MEC Pitcher of the Year Patrick Bauer. evening the count of 1 ball and 1 strike. Drills this one, left center, going back and tracking it down. Jackson Shallock for the first out.
Yeah, that one not quite the charge we've seen off of the bat. Some of those other ones that have jumped over the fence, got a hold of it, but stayed in the ballpark for the first out here in the 4th.
Ethan Spolrich will step in, struck out to end the second in what was a 1-2-3 inning for Bauer and his Frostburg prevent side. And the Hurricane West Virginia native fouls this one off. Hurricane High School, it's produced a plethora of outstanding baseball talent, great football players.
Gosh, I think about the Hurricane teams when I was growing up, when I was in school, guys my age, like Daniel Clark, fantastic ball player, went on to a professional career, spent some time, I believe, as a coach in the Cubs organization even.
Two balls and 1 strike here to Spolrich, a junior. It's interesting. We talk about West Virginia kids, and 7, 8, 9 in the order for state are all West Virginia high school products. We have Pfizer and Paulson also in that lineup. Three and 2 the count to Spolrich. Bauer fires. Spolrich stays alive. And that will be strike 3. 2 are gone here. Now Reed Amos and his crew doing a fabulous job with yet another state Mountain East Conference championship event here at the home of West Virginia High School State Championship Baseball, Charleston Dirty Birds Baseball. This is rocked off the bat of Aiden Paulson, and it is off the wall. Well, he was trying to match older brother Nate. Didn't quite get it over the wall, but bounced it off the wall for a stand-up double. And that will be hit number 7 of the game for West Virginia State with 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd.
And Paulson did not miss that one by much, as we see here on the replay. Good swing on that. Clips off the wall there. Like I said, didn't miss it by much. 4 or 5 feet to the right. That's got a shot to slip over where the wall kind of has a cutout and dips down a little bit right there.
So Kyle Waters looks at a called strike from Bauer. Popped up to the second baseman in the first and then crushed that 2-run shot in the 3rd, which was then followed by a 2-run home run by Nate Paulson. This pitch gets away from the catcher, a breeze, and on to third goes Aiden Paulson. 1 ball and 1 strike. But mentioning this event and all the championship events of the MEC, Reed Amos, the commissioner, Allie DeWitt, senior associate commissioner, senior women's administrator, Chuck McGill is the associate commissioner for external engagement and communications, and Jonathan Griffin, director of membership services and operations. And a happy belated birthday to Jonathan. Yesterday was his birthday. 2-1 the count. Waters awaits the pitch. And this one drilled foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes. State collected 2 hits in the first inning, went down 1-2-3 in the second, 4 hits there in the third, and then 1 here in the fourth thus far. Bauer trying to make sure that's the only one. And it will be, as Waters drills it at C.J. Carmichael, the shortstop, and the line drive ends it. So State leaves a runner aboard. We head to the bottom of the fourth. It's West Virginia State 4 and Frostburg State 0 here on the MEC Digital Network. Bottom of the fourth here, West Virginia State 4, Frostburg State 0. 7 hits for the Yellow Jackets, and Frostburg still looking to collect that first of the game. State suffering 1 error in the contest. And to start it out here for Frostburg in the bottom of the fourth will be Doyle McDew, the first baseman. Little activity going on at the moment, Tom, in the Frostburg bullpen.
Yeah, it looks like number 34, Zach Dodson, right-hander, 5-2 on the season, 11 appearances, is getting loose down there for the Bobcats.
Doyle McNew drew a walk in the second inning, and then he was put out at second on the force. One ball and 1 strike.
Mark, the clouds have really rolled in and cooled things off here. As we arrived this morning prior to the game, big swing and a miss there for the strikeout.
Yeah, it was a bright, sunshiny day when we got things started here, but as you mentioned, it's cooled off just a tad. That is strikeout number 5 for Fabian. And 1 away here in the bottom of the fourth. Cade DeBreeze steps in. He struck out in the second, the junior catcher for Frostburg. Anthony Williams in the third base box for the Bobcats. The outstanding head coach for Frostburg State University, Brian Worth. In the first base box, 1 ball, 1 strike. Had a chance to do outdoor track and field for the MEC at Bobcat Stadium there in Frostburg. And boy, just what a beautiful campus and some outstanding facilities there at that school. A lot of great facilities around this league, Tom.
Oh, great facilities. Talking about beautiful campuses. You look around, we talk about the views from here of the state capitol building. You should see the views from campus over at the University of Charleston on the other side of the river. I think of West Virginia Wesleyan when I think of beautiful campuses.
Yes.
Fairmont State, very pretty.
West Liberty
up there, yes,
in the ball. My goodness. This one lifted up and out of play. 3 balls, 2 strikes. I love the ad the MEC has that has all the shots of the different campuses here. Fouled off. Count remains. .73 pitches for Fabian, 37 strikes. A breeze hanging tough here as he works against the West Virginia State left-hander. And that is down low for ball 4. So a breeze will draw the walk. And Fabian, a walk in the first inning, 2 in the second, 3 in the third, and hit a batter. And now he has issued another walk here. So Breeze will head down to first base. Fabian working out of a jam in really the second and third. 2 were left in the second, 3 in the third for Frostburg. Manny Hall steps in, hit into a fielder's choice to end the third inning, and he steps in and fouls off the first offering.
And Fabian hasn't been especially sharp issuing all those walks, but as I said earlier, it's been feast or famine, a whole bunch of strikeouts. He's got 5 so far. Coming up on that season high of his, he punched out 7 on March 7th in a win at home against Slippery Rock.
One ball and 1 strike. Later today here at Go-Mart Ballpark, Concord and Fairmont State, the winner will stay alive. And I think it may have nicked Overitis. And that came off the bat with some speed. We'll look at it here. Nice cut by Hall.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if that was a forearm or a hip. Looked like it might have been more on the hip. Either way, something that does not feel good.
1-2 pitch, and Hall backing out of there. It had me backing away.
Yeah, I don't think there was any malice on that one. It was a breaking pitch, but got away from him a little bit there. Ended up over the batter's head.
Another pitch that ducks Manny Hall out of there. So the count is now full at 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Second consecutive batter had this count run full.
Hall connects, but it goes foul. 3-2 now here. It remains to Manny Hall, the freshman right fielder for Frostburg. And a swing and a miss. And a second strikeout in the inning for Fabian.
That's 6 for the game now. As I mentioned, 1 short of his season high of 7 against Slippery Rock.
Ryan Scott will step in, walked in the third inning. Sophomore center fielder. And that plunks him. So that's the second batter that's been hit by a pitch thrown from JT Fabian. And a breeze will make his way to second.
So we get another look. That one just ran inside on him. Caught Scott on the back as he turned there, and with 2 outs, not the guy you want to put on base for free. So that brings the top of the lineup back up with guys on the pond.
Jackson Shalik at the plate. He walked and then was gunned down at second, caught stealing to end the inning. Guy had struck out, and it turned out to be a double play. They're checking Overitis there. I'm not sure if it was something may have been in his eye or what, but back to business here. This one drilled, and that one is gone. First hit of the game for Frostburg off the bat of Jackson Shalik, and it's a 2-run home run, our third 2-run homer of the game.
And as I was just saying, Mark, the hit
3-run homer.
The hit batter with 2 outs in the game or in the inning rather, to bring the top of the lineup back around. Not what you wanted to see if you were State, and Shalleck made him pay. Blasted that one. I believe that clipped off of either the fence or one of the support beams of the big video scoreboard out in left center field. And just like that, the Bobcats with one swing of the bat, just one hit today, but they're right back in this one, 4-2. Now the score, State still in the lead. 4-3, excuse me. I was looking at the scoreboard here. It says 4-2 on the scoreboard. It is 4-3. I know we're trying to tell you that it was just a 2, but I promise there were 2 guys on deck and a man who hit it. It's 4-3 now. State still in the lead.
Yeah, but just like that, this game has gotten a bit more interesting. Yeah, Breeze was at second. Scott was at first. C.J. Carmichael at the plate. Lifted one to center, grounded out to second. 2-1 the count here.
Yeah, the mistakes really coming back to haunt the pitcher, Fabian, here in the 4th inning for West Virginia State. Just the one hit, it went over the fence, but 2 guys were on base through a walk and a hit by pitch. So self-inflicted wounds for the Yellow Jackets.
Brody Gunther firing on to Connor Pfizer, and that will end it. But life for Frostburg, a 3-run shot by Jackson Shalleck. And it's a 4-3 game as we head to the 5th here at the 2025 Mountain East Conference Baseball Tournament on the MEC Digital Network, being presented by Cardinal Chevrolet.
I got involved in officiating volleyball 8 years after I played Division I in college.
And I wanted to do more than just be a spectator. I wanted to get involved and give back to the sport that I've loved for so long.
I'm a speaker,
a builder,
I coach,
culinary arts, auditor, a firefighter, and I'm a volleyball official.
Officiating volleyball was something that helped me to reconnect to my roots.
Volleyball officiating will bring positive influences into your life along with lifelong friends.
I said yes to becoming a volleyball official so that I could give back to the game.
Saying yes to volleyball officiating will give you the privilege to be a part of one of the most exciting sports around.
Challenge yourself as a referee to always be the best you can be.
For anyone contemplating becoming a volleyball official,
just go for it.
Take the plunge, open the door,
stay on the court.
Just say yes.
Say yes to officiating. Learn more about how to get involved at sayyes2officiating.com.
New game here at 4-3 as we go to the top of the 5th. Frostburg State had been hitless until Jackson Shalleck drilled a 3-run shot. So West Virginia State, the lead not as cozy now for Sean Lloyd's crew. Michael Bittinger, the second baseman, the junior, who has flown out to center and singled and scored a run. Steps in, and this one lifted high, but coming on, and it will be Shalleck camping under it for out number 1.
Kind of the opposite of what we were talking about earlier in the game, Mark. And Shalleck had the big shot when he was just up. Now he's out making the first out of the game, or of the inning, excuse me.
3 home runs in the game, 2 by West Virginia State, a pair of 2-run shots, and then we had the 3-run homer by Shalleck.
Yeah, both bullpens active now. Looks like the lefty up for West Virginia State, Zane Loveday.
Well, Nate Paulson, one of those with a 2-run homer for West Virginia State. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. He has hit safely both times up today, singled back in the first, and then had that 2-run delivery in the third. And this one is foul.
Looks like right-hander Joe Pippin up getting loose in the bullpen for the Bobcats right now. So activities on both sides. We've seen both teams really start to square things up and hit both of these pitchers pretty hard.
1-2 pitch, and that one tough, but a great stab by Mikey Guy for the out.
Fantastic play by the Bobcats third baseman.
2 are gone here. 2 up, 2 down thus far. Brody Gunther will step in now. Singled in the first and flew out to center in the third. We may have had a ball.
Yeah, I think a ball got loose.
The bullpens are a little tight here.
Yeah.
At Go-Mart Ballpark.
Yeah, tight and really, really close to the action.
Yeah, nice swing there, and that will be right at Manny Hall. So for a second time in this game, Patrick Bauer in the Frostburg prevent side, a 1-2-3 inning. We head to the bottom of the fifth in a 4-3 game here in Charleston at the 2025 Mountain East Conference Baseball Tournament on the MEC Digital Network, being presented by Cardinal Chevrolet.
For over 4 decades, the health plan is called West Virginia Home. It all started with a vision to serve our community with pride and integrity. We've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming part of its fabric. We've been here through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Because at the health plan, we don't just work here, we live here. Proudly serving West Virginia since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community. The health plan. Here for you.
What's possible when you have the freedom to explore things that inspire you? To be a part of a community that supports and challenges you. Where can you go to find the space and time to reach your goals? Who can you become when you're able to make connections in a place where you belong? Find out what's possible at Frostburg State University.
They're younger than I am.
Zane Loveday is the new pitcher for the Yellow Jackets of West Virginia State as we go to action in the bottom of the fifth inning. Loveday, 13.06 ERA, 0-3 on the season. This is his 11th appearance. He's got a couple of saves so far this season, has struck out 17, walked 27, allowed 28 hits. Young man who hails from Bidwell, Ohio, not too far from Charleston, a product of Gallia Academy High School, which is located in Gallipolis, Ohio, the old French city. Beautiful Ohio River town there in Gallia County, Ohio.
Beautiful school, too. Relatively new building out there. It's really nice. I've had some family that actually went to school there, and we've attended graduations, ball games, things like that, and it's a nice spot they have over in Gallipolis.
Mikey Guy had a great defensive play in the top of the fifth, but he drills this one right at Ethan Spolrich for the first out here in inning number 5. Guy struck out, walked, and now has a fly out to left field. Ryan Boma steps in, walked and hit by a pitch in innings 2 and 3, respectively. So the called strike from Zane Loveday. And this one cranked to center. Aiden Paulson makes a few steps and hauls it in for out number 2. All right, so now it would be Nate Paulson's turn defensively for West Virginia State. You hit one to left, one to center, and now to right. Obviously, Frostburg has other ideas, Tom. As Jake Holler steps in, he has struck out twice. He definitely has other ideas.
A couple of flyouts to start things for Loveday here. First time he's making an appearance since May 4th, just last week. came in relief, pitched 3 innings, got the win in a 9-5 victory against rival University of Charleston.
One ball and 1 strike. Loveday comes with the pitch.
Boy, had him fooled there.
Sure
Not a good looking swing, and usually a sign that what you got was not what you were expecting.
And Holler came in with the team leading batting average at .402. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes in a 4-3 game. Home runs the story offensively in this one, and lifted high in the air, foul territory, and actually it's going to stay in fair territory, and it will be Bittinger making the grab, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. And we head to the 6th here in Charleston. 4-3 game as you watch live coverage of the 2025 Mountain East Conference Baseball Tournament on the MEC Digital Network, being presented by Cardinal Chevrolet.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
For over 4 decades, the health plan has called West Virginia home. It all started with a vision to serve our community with pride and integrity. We've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming part of its fabric. We've been here through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Because at the health plan, we don't just work here, we live here. The health plan, a proud corporate partner with the Mountain East Conference.
Patrick Bauer continues on the mound for Frostburg as we head to the 6th inning here at Gomart Ballpark in Charleston, now in its 20th season. Baseball in Charleston started in 1910 from a professional standpoint. Old Worley Park, May 5th, 1910. The Charleston Statesmen playing in the Class D Virginia Valley League. Called strike to Connor Pfizer. Pfizer caught looking in the first. Hopped up to the first baseman in the 3rd. Bauer has allowed 7 hits, 4 runs, all earned, struck out 3, given up a double, 2 home runs. Pfizer hammers it foul to stay alive. That Charleston Statesman team played against the likes of Montgomery, Huntington, Point Pleasant, Parkersburg, Ashland, Kentucky. They all had teams.
Sounds like a pretty fun league.
Manny Hall going over and chases it down. Great play out there in right by Manny Hall for the first out. And, of course, baseball continued on. They played at Canal Park, and then later that became Wattpal Park. And that was the home of Charleston baseball until this beautiful facility was built. Speaking of beautiful, great play there defensively by Manny Hall for the first out. Tyler Overitis steps in. He flew out to center and to right field in innings 2 and 3, respectively. Looks at a called strike.
Yeah, Hall has been very good out there in right field a couple of times. He's really had to put on the wheels and cover a lot of ground to make a play. And so far, he's been coming through for the Bobcats.
Swing and a miss there by Overitis. You know, Tom, I had a chance as a kid. You know, Wattpal Park was big, and that's when there was AAA baseball here in Charleston, the Pittsburgh Pirates. If you watched Pirate baseball, you saw a lot of names that had been with the old Charleston Charlies back in the day. Swing and a miss. So a 4th strikeout of the game here for Bauer. And he has retired now 6 straight. And Ethan Barnett steps in. Barnett's popped up to the second baseman, Ryan Boma, in the second inning and flew out to left field into the glove of Jackson Shalik in the 4th inning.
Now, you brought up the old Charleston Charlies when they were a AAA team for the Pirates. I think if you spend enough time around baseball in Charleston now, you're bound to hear the story. Still not sure how true it actually is. It's a big shot there, deep into left field.
Barnett's and Shalik looking, and it's going to be a base hit for Barnett's. He'll wind up at second. Couldn't quite poke it out, but good effort there by Shalik. And Barnett's on board at second. That was a great effort by Shalik, and he goes up and
he just mistimed the jump a little bit, but fortunate. Ball stays in the park, though, able to hold him to just 2 bases. But the story, though, is that Dave Parker, when he played for the Charlies, hit a ball out of Watt-Powell Park and into a coal car that was going past the old stadium. And when the car stopped in Beckley, they found the baseball, and they said, oh, it was the longest home run ever. He hit one from Charleston to Beckley.
Yeah, I had a chance to interview him at Watt-Powell Park one night. He was back for a visit. Activity in the bullpen. Joe Pippin, talked about him a little earlier, Tom. He's still taking his warm-up tosses here. Bauer retired the first 2, but then gives up the double to Barnett's now. Spolrich steps in. He struck out twice. Grounder, gloved by Mikey Guy, rifles on to Doyle McNew, and the inning is over. Guy to McNew, and that will end it here in this 6th inning for West Virginia State, who leads it 4-3 over Frostburg here at the 2025 Mountain East Conference Baseball Tournament on the MEC Digital Network, being presented by Cardinal Chevrolet.
No weekend plans? Try some of ours. With a generous serving of historic sites, foodie eccentricities, and brewery diversions, the happiest hours start here. Mountaineer Country. Come, go wild.
Zane Loveday still out there on the hill for West Virginia State. He will work against batters 6, 7, and 8 in that Frostburg lineup. Doyle McNew, the first baseman, Cade Breeze, the catcher, and Manny Hall, the right fielder, to start things off here for head coach Anthony Williams' Frostburg Bobcats. And talked about the great job that Coach Williams has done. At Frostburg, product of Slippery Rock, where he played varsity baseball. Last season, a D2 Atlantic regional appearance. Doyle McNew lifting it up and racing over, and making the grab will be Ethan Spolrich for the first out. So McNew has walked, struck out, and now flies out to left field. A Breeze steps in. He struck out and walked. Cade back in the second and drew the walk in the fourth. Scored a run. Again, a 3-run shot by Jackson Shalik in the 4th inning. That home run, the lone hit of the game thus far for Frostburg. Well,
ball got loose from the Bobcats bullpen. Came down behind the backstops. We got a little delay, as you see Hall helping everybody out, bringing that one in.
Loveday rocks and fires, grounder, snagged there at third by Brody Gunther. Guns it on to Connor Pfizer for the second out. Junior to the graduate student, Gunther to Connor Pfizer. And Manny Hall now in, hit into a fielder's choice in the second. Another look at Gunther's nice play there at third. Hall would strike out in the fourth. Looks at ball one. As a broadcaster, you love the umpires that really let you know.
Oh, yeah.
What the call is. Greg Losh doing a great job. As are his partners today. Chris Richards is at first. Mark Mail is at third. Outstanding umpires here in the Mountain East Conference. 2-1 pitch from Loveday. That misses. Loveday fires the 3-1 upstairs. Ball four. Trying for his second consecutive 1-2-3 inning.
Yeah, first base runner allowed by Loveday here. Still just one hit, the big home run in the ballgame for the Bobcats. Lots of base runners, though. So the state pitching staff combined here has been a little bit erratic. Lots of walks, a couple of hit batters.
Manny Hall, good stop there by Overitis. Manny Hall has stolen 11 bases this season in 13 attempts.
We've seen his speed defensively out in right field. First time on the base paths today, though, for the freshman.
Here's one hit, and gloving is Waters. That's going to be tough and safe at first. Will be Brian Scott, so the second hit of the game for Frostburg. Well, the first hit leaves the ballpark. The second hit doesn't leave the infield.
Yeah, nice job by State to limit that to what it was as we go to the replay here. Just a very tough play for the shortstop. Running away, having to throw across your body like that. Guy with a little bit of speed, and Scott coming down to base path, so.
And obviously, Waters as good as they come, as he's the All-Mountain East Conference shortstop. And speaking of All-Conference, here's Shalik, 3-run shot a moment ago. Back in the fourth inning to put Frostburg on the board. And after they had trailed 4-3, Shalik walked in the first inning, flew out to center in the third before his towering home run in the fourth. Loveday with the pitch. That is in there for a called strike two.
And it caught the inside corner. Nice pitch by Loveday.
1-2 the count here. Jackson Shalik with 2 on.
Hall certainly has the Yellow Jackets' attention out on the base passes. You saw Overitis kind of jump up check on him after that one came in.
Two pitch, and this one is drilled to Paulson out in center. Couple of steps, he's got it, and that will do it. Frostburg threatens, but they leave 2, and we have played 6 here in Charleston, heading to the 7th at the 2025 Mountain East Conference Baseball Tournament on the MEC Digital Network, being presented by Cardinal Chevrolet. As we head to the 7th inning, a pitching change has occurred, Tom Bragg, for the Bobcats of Frostburg after Mountain East Conference Pitcher of the Year Patrick Bauer goes 6 innings.
Yeah, Bauer 6 innings will give way to Joe Pippin. Pippin making his 16th appearance of the season. Only 5 starts, though. 7-2 record, 2.91 ERA. He's thrown 43 1/3 innings, given up 34 hits, 19 runs. 14 of those were earned. 11 walks issued, 34 strikeouts. He's allowed 5 doubles, 2 home runs, and opposing teams are batting just .219 off of him. So he misses bats out there, and that has been a problem today so far for the Bobcats. State been teeing off a little bit, able to get 2 home runs, get a couple hits together. Bobcats had an answer, but Yellow Jackets still in the lead in this one, 4-3, as we head to the 7th inning.
So MEC Pitcher of the Year Patrick Bauer is done. Hopefully that young man will get more action before this tournament is done. We'll see how it all shakes out. He pitched 6 innings, allowed 8 hits, 4 runs, 2 home runs, struck out 4, no walks. So for West Virginia State, the man who recorded that final out in the bottom of the 6th, Aiden Paulson, who made the catch out there in center field. He's behind in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. He had a single, scored a run in the 3rd, and a double in the 4th. So he's had a good day, and here's another hard hit ball, and that one is bobbled. Gunning over is Carmichael to McNew, but not sure. It could have been tough, but
I'm not sure if that took an odd bounce on him or if he just overran it, but it looked like, as we go to the replay here, shortstop not able to make a clean grab to collect that one, and allows the state base runner. Yeah, you see he had to lean back and kind of threw the whole thing off for Carmichael as Paulson reaches safely to open things here in the 7th.
And that will be an error charge to Carmichael as Kyle Waters steps in. Lifted one up to second in the 1st, a 2-run shot in the 3rd, and then lined one to the shortstop Carmichael in the 4th to end the inning. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Don't forget, winner of this game moves on to take on the University of Charleston. Loser here takes on Point Park.
Pick your poison, right?
Right, yeah.
There's 2 really solid teams here, no doubt. That is strike 3. Waters is gone.
I think certainly because of the way things broke with the bracket, you want to avoid Point Park, not just because they're a very good team, but that means your back's against the wall and you've lost one of the games in this double elimination tournament. Awfully close down there on the pickoff attempt at first, but Paulson able to get back in under the tag.
Michael Bittinger flew out to center, singled in the 3rd, and flew out to left in the 5th. Runner goes, throw is high, and sliding safely in will be Aiden Paulson.
Yeah, Breeze popped up and got that ball out of his glove really fast. Throw sailed on him a little bit as Paulson able to slide in under the throw.
He is 3 for 3 now this season in stolen base attempts. Want to know the count here to Bittinger with 1 out in the top of the 7th and a 1-run lead for West Virginia State. State with 8 hits to just 2 for Frostburg. Each team now with an error in the contest. Pippin's 1-1, and this one hit, and nice play there. Playing close to the bag was Boma, and he had to come a long way to make that, then twirl around to get the out. And that will advance Paulson to 3rd base. Bittinger a fielder's choice, so score the out 4-3. It's the second out. Man is at third, so Nate Paulson will step in with younger brother Aiden Paulson at third base. Nate Paulson with a single, a home run, and a grounder to third in the contest.
And a previous play with the right-handed batter at the plate and the runner on second base. Second baseman shifting just a little bit over there, but good job by Bittinger to be mobile and make the play.
Two balls, no strikes here to Nate Paulson. Pippen's pitch. 3-0 the count. And now they're going to put Nate Paulson on. And with that, first walk by Frostburg pitching today. So that has runners at the corners. Brody Gunther will step in, singled in the first inning, flew out to center in the third, and flew to right field in the fifth. Joe Pippen will bring it and fouled away by Brody Gunther. Joe Pippen on the mound. Kay DeBreeze is the catcher. Doyle McNew at first. Ryan Boma is the second baseman for Frostburg. Mikey Guy at third. C.J. Carmichael at short. Paulson, Nate Paulson that is, heads to second. Older Paulson at second. Younger Paulson at third. 1-1 the count here to Gunther. The Frostburg outfield with Jackson Shalleck in left. Brian Scott in center, Manny Hall in right. 2-1 now to junior Brody Gunther, the third baseman for West Virginia State. Pippen's pitch. That one wide for a 3-1 count.
And Pippen a little wild here with runners on base. One pitch away potentially from loading him up.
And in there for strike number 2. Full count, 2 on, 2 outs. Here in the top of the 7th in a 4-3 contest between West Virginia State and Frostburg. And that is ball 4. And Connor Pfizer will step in.
So Bobcats pitching staff goes the entire game and to this point without issuing a walk, and now 2 in a row. And if you look out, there's a whole bunch of Yellow Jackets on the bases. So we've got bases loaded, and another trip to chat with the pitcher here for the Frostburg pitching coach.
Michael Austin out there, his second trip today. Meanwhile, Sean Lloyd, the head coach for the Yellow Jackets, with Connor Pfizer, the St. Albans High School product. Pippen will stay out there. Frostburg, a season ago, 37-16. Anthony Williams was named the MEC Coach of the Year. 2023, they won 33 games. 33 in 2022. Come into this tournament with 34 victories.
Activity again in the Bobcats bullpen. It's Zach Dodson, right-hander, up getting loose.
So Pfizer looks at ball 1. He was caught looking in the first inning, popped one up to the first baseman in the third, and flew out to right field in the 6th. 2-0 the count. Two are gone here. Bases full for West Virginia State. 2-1 the count. Joe Pippin. To Connor Pfizer. And that moves the count to 3-1. West Virginia State in search of its 28th win this season. Frostburg, its 35th. 3-1 pitch. And that is down low. That is ball 4. And that will bring home Aiden Paulson. Nate Paulson will move to third. Brody Gunther heads over to second. And Connor Pfizer brings home a run as he draws what was a third straight walk.
And Pippin coming into today's contest, just 11 walks issued in 43 and a third innings pitched. And now, as we just saw, 3 consecutive, and that last one brings a run in.
Tyler Overitis, the state catcher, flies out to center in the second, right in the third, and struck out in the sixth. Now a 5-3 game.
Remember,
0-2 the count.
Remember, no hits yet in this inning, either for West Virginia State. Aiden Paulson reached on an error, and then the 3 consecutive walks is how we got in the situation we currently have.
This one hammered and out of play. Yeah, Aiden Paulson hit one hard to shortstop. It was a tough play for C.J. Carmichael, and they would charge him with an error. And then Pippin settled down. He struck out Kyle Waters, got Michael Bittinger to ground out that would advance a runner. McNew will field it, touch the bag himself, and that will do it. So not that much damage done, though West Virginia State adds a run. They lead at 5-3 as we head to the bottom of the 7th here in Charleston on the MEC Digital Network.
For over 4 decades, the health plan has called West Virginia home. It all started with a vision to serve our community with pride and integrity. We've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming part of its fabric. We've been here through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Because at the health plan, we don't just work here, we live here. The health plan, a proud corporate partner with the Mountain East Conference.
You have dreams.
A better life, a better job, a better you.
So where do you start to build the skills necessary to get there? At West Virginia State, you are not just a number, you are who you choose to be.
You receive personal attention from award-winning faculty.
You study in nationally recognized programs.
You learn the skills that will get you the job you know you can have. No matter where you want to go
or what you want to do,
it starts at State.
Welcome back inside Gomart Ballpark. 2025 Mountain East Conference Baseball Championship Tournament here. Second day of action in Charleston. West Virginia State leading Frostburg State 5-3 as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Carmichael, Guy, and Boma do up this half for Frostburg. Not a ton of offense in terms of hits in this game for the Bobcats. 3 runs came via the big shot in the 4th inning. Shalik sent one over the fence, but just 2 hits on the ball game so far. First pitch in there for a strike to Carmichael. That ball grounded to first base. Pfizer over there taking himself. First out of the inning is recorded.
Mikey Guy will now step in for Frostburg. Struck out to in the first inning on what was actually a double play. He struck out, and then in the process of him striking out, Tyler Overitis fired down to second to Kyle Waters, and they tagged Jackson Shalleck out. Guy then walked in the third, flew out to left in the fifth. Looks at strike one from Loveday. Anthony Williams there in the third base box. He's also been the head coach at Clarion and the University of Pittsburgh at Greensburg, and base hit there, and moving on to second will be Mikey Guy.
I think it'll be a single, then runner advancing to second on an error by the center fielder. Paulson out there just took his eye off the ball, I think, as he went to collect it in his glove and booted it a little bit and allowed the runner to move up.
Ryan Boma will step in now, has walked in the second.
So we see the replay here.
Yeah, there you go. Another look at what unfolded. Yep, just kind of snatched it there with his glove and just got away from him, and then hit by a pitch is Boma. The two runners aboard here in the last of the seventh. Boma will take his place at first base, and that brings up designated hitter Jake Holler. One away here in the bottom of the seventh, and Frostburg threatening. Tying runs aboard. Well, I said Jake Holler, but now we are going to have a new batter here, Ben Wyman. Infield, a redshirt junior. Fouls off the first offering from Loveday. Holler had struck out twice and popped up to second. Loveday trying to clamp down here with two on in the bottom of the seventh. Frostburg trying to edge closer here. They trailed 4-0. Got a 3-run home run by Jackson Shalleck in the fourth. State adding a run in the top of this seventh inning to go back up by 2.
Action in the Yellow Jackets bullpen, trying to get a number on who's up. Right-hander getting loose down there, though.
One ball and 2 strikes. This ball hit into left. That's a base hit. They'll hold up the runner at third. But a pinch hit, base hit for Frostburg.
Riley Vidaz, the right-hander, getting loose for the Yellow Jackets. Vidaz, if he comes in, it would be his 18th appearance of the season, all of those in relief.
3 base runners aboard for Doyle McNew. Walked in the second, struck out in the fourth, flew out to left in the sixth. 0-1 the count here. Overitis out to talk to Loveday. It was a 4-0 game, a 4-3 game at the moment, a 5-3 game. Bases loaded for Frostburg. One ball and one strike to Doyle McNew. McNew lifting this one up and out of play. McNew's played a nice first base today for Frostburg, Tom. And now trying to see if he can collect a base hit, a walk, and bring home a run, maybe more. Loveday the pitch. Scooping, looking, and they're not going to be able to get a play. Now Pfizer coming on, and just no one there, and Mikey Guy will score, and that makes it a 5-4 game here in the bottom of the 7th. Seen that happen for Frostburg.
We've seen that happen a few times throughout the tournament so far. As we go to the replay, just first baseman coming in to make a play on that one, and nobody behind him backing up, covering the bag. Pitcher slow to get over there. Second base slow to get over there, and it allows a run to come in. And 5-4 game now.
Yeah, 5-4 game, and a pitching change taking place for the Yellow Jackets of West Virginia State. Loveday is done for the day. We will return here to Charleston in a moment on the MEC Digital Network.
For over 4 decades, the health plan is called West Virginia Home. It all started with a vision to serve our community with pride and integrity. We've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming part of its fabric. We've been here through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Because at the health plan, we don't just work here, we live here. Proudly serving West Virginia since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community, the health plan. Here for you.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Riley Vidaz becomes the third pitcher of the day for West Virginia State, as this game has tightened to a one-run situation yet again. 4-0 lead for West Virginia State on a pair of two-run shots in the third. And finally, in the bottom of the fourth, Frostburg gets on the board a 3-run home run by Jackson Shalick. West Virginia State with a run in the top of the 7th to go up by 2 at 5-3. And now Frostburg has gotten closer at 5-4 with a run here in the bottom of the 7th and still working. Bases loaded for Cade Abreeze, who struck out in the 2nd, walked in the 4th and scored a run, and grounded out to 3rd in the 6th. Riley Vidaz. And that's in there for a called strike one. Throwing over is Vidaz. Boma is at third. Weeman at second, and McNew is at first for Frostburg on the base paths. A breeze out of Newport News, Virginia. Hammers that offering from Vidaz foul. 0-2 the count. 82 miles per hour from Vidaz.
Vidaz 18th appearance of the season. Just 18 innings, allowed 18 hits, 10 runs, 10 of those earned, 5 walks, 6 strikeouts.
Novaritis doing a nice job there.
Opposing teams batting .265 against Vidaz this year. He's given up 2 long balls.
One-two pitch. This one hit into right field. Base hit. 1 run is in. And they will hold the runner at third. And we are tied at 5. Boma scores from third. Base hit by a breeze.
Nice piece of hitting by the Newport News, Virginia native, a breeze. As we go to the replay, get another look at that. Just takes that one the other way, finds the hole on the right side of the infield between second and first base. That'll bring in a run and tie things up here late in Charleston.
A 5-5 game. And the Bobcats now with 6 hits. That will be it for Riley Vidaz, a new pitcher for West Virginia State. When we return here, a tie game in Charleston here at the 2025 Mountain East Conference Baseball Tournament.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
No weekend plans? Try some of ours. With a generous serving of historic sites, foodie eccentricities, and brewery diversions, the happiest hours start here. Mountaineer Country. Come, go wild.
Freshman pitcher Brandon Morrison out of Plantation, Florida. Broward Virtual High School into the game now. The 4th pitcher of the contest for Sean Lloyd's Yellow Jackets of West Virginia State. And he comes in with the bases loaded and the game tied at 5-5. Morrison, a 2.59 ERA, a 2-0 record. This will be his 18th appearance. 24 and a third innings worked this season. He's given up 23 hits, 9 runs, 7 of those earned while striking out 7 and walking 4. He'll face off with Manny Hall, who hit into a fielder's choice in the 2nd inning, which ended the 2nd. Struck out in the 4th. He walked in the 6th. Played a really nice right field today for Frostburg and a chance to give the Bobcats their first lead of the day. Morrison's first pitch, swing and a miss by Hall.
24 and a third innings pitched for Morrison coming into today. 2-0 record, 2.59 ERA. This is 18th appearance of the season.
The 0-1. This one lifted up and out of play. So Morrison ahead in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. You're a freshman from Florida, and you come to West Virginia to be in a setting like this, Tom. Great venue, big-time game, 5-5 contest. The pitch, and this one fouled off. Hall stays alive.
A couple of outstanding programs in Frostburg and West Virginia State. When you sign to go play ball for either of those teams, these are the moments you're signing up for.
Yeah, the goal is to get to Charleston in the MEC and play at Go-Mart Ballpark. Be one of the 6 to earn your way to the capital city of West Virginia. Chance to win a championship and then move on to the Atlantic Regional, and who knows from there. 0-2 pitch. Morrison eyes the sign from Overitis, the senior catcher. The freshman pitcher deals, and this one lifted up. Will there be a chance for the Yellow Jackets? Overitis, and it goes into the screen. Outstanding effort.
A great job by the Yellow Jackets catcher to track that one. Needed maybe just another foot over there, and he would have been able to bring that down. So we see the replay here. Close enough. He still might have had a play on it, but it caught that fencing, the netting in behind home plate on its way down.
So the count stays put at 1-2 strikes. Freshman against freshman. Morrison to Hall, and that one is laced into right field. A base hit. Frostburg has its first lead of the day. A 1-2 pitch, and Manny Hall takes it into right field to bring home the runner and give Frostburg the 6-5 edge.
As we go to the replay, you see Manny Hall looking fastball all the way there and just turns that one right around. Found that hole between first and second. That's been a fortuitous spot for the Bobcats here in this inning. And as you said, Mark, first time today, Frostburg State has the lead. It's 6-5. Base is still loaded. Still just one out here in the inning.
So Brian Scott, who walked in the third, hit by a pitch in the fourth, and a single in the sixth. He steps in. 1-0 from Morrison upstairs. 2-0 the count. Three runs in the fourth for Frostburg, and now three here in the seventh to go on top of West Virginia State in a good Mountain East Conference baseball tournament battle to start day number 2. Morrison's 2-0 upstairs, ball 3. A pitch away from sending in a 7th run of the game for Frostburg.
Another right-hander getting loose for the Yellow Jackets. Hunter McSweeney up in the bullpen.
The called strike. Morrison steps off. Carmichael grounded out to first to start the inning. Then there was a base hit, an error. A batter hit. And 4 straight singles. Swing and a miss. Big pitch there by Morrison. Runs the count full at 3-2.
And more base hits the last 4 batters for Frostburg State than in the previous 6 innings combined, but they'll take it with a 1-run lead here late in this contest.
The 3-2, and this one is drilled into left center, and it's going to be Paulson coming over. He makes the grab, but tagging up at third and scoring will be McNew to give Frostburg a 7-5 lead. And Paulson did a great job there. He had to come a long way to make that catch.
Yeah, nice job by the State center fielder to track that one down, but more damage done. So just one out in the inning, and McNew able to tag up and bring that 7th run of the ball game home for Frostburg. 2 outs now.
Jackson Shalik, a 3-run shot earlier to get his team back in it, and he swings big at this one, and that one goes to Paulson out in center. So they send 9 batters to the plate. They come up with 4 runs, and Frostburg is in the lead for the first time today at 7-5 here at the 2025 Mountain East Conference Baseball Tournament. You're watching live coverage on the MEC Digital Network, being presented by Cardinal Chevrolet.
Team with a river in the middle. Take me to my hometown. My hometown is your hometown. It's got a gold dome with a picking on the fiddle.
A 7-5 game now. A little different looking contest as Frostburg strikes for 4 runs in the bottom of the 7th to take a 7-5 lead over West Virginia State here. Game 1 of 2 today at the 2025 Mountain East Conference Baseball Tournament.
Yeah, fun ball game we've had here this morning, Mark. Back and forth. Started out with some fireworks from the Yellow Jackets early. Of course, a big 3-run home run for Frostburg's Shalik in the 4th. Got the Bobcats back into this, and then last inning, Frostburg's half of the 7th. Bobcats blew that one open for 4 runs to take a 7-5 lead here late.
Ethan Barnett starts it out for West Virginia State here. The number 7 hitter lifted one up to second, flew out to left, and had a double. He was stranded there. State has left 7 aboard today on the base paths. 3-0 the count. As Joe Pippin continues to pitch here for Frostburg, fires in a strike. 3-1 the count.
And Barnett's a .308 average coming into today, .615 slugging percentage.
That's ball 4. And West Virginia State, for the first time today, Tom, they've got to climb out of a deficit.
Yeah, we'll see how the Yellow Jackets handle it. It looked early with the pitching performance they were getting from the starter Fabian, and their ability to hit the starter from Frostburg, Bauer, hard. It looked like the Yellow Jackets might run away with this early, but certainly not the case, as Frostburg showed its pedigree, team that participated in the Atlantic Regional last year. A lot of fight in them, able to battle back here. 4-run 7th inning gives them a 7-5 lead.
Nate Bittinger is going to come in to run for Barnett's, and that's going to do it for Pippin here in this top of the 8th inning. We shall return to Go-Mart Ballpark. 7-5 Frostburg on top of West Virginia State.
For over 4 decades, the health plan is called West Virginia Home. It all started with a vision to serve our community with pride and integrity. We've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming part of its fabric. We've been here through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Because at the health plan, we don't just work here, we live here. Proudly serving West Virginia since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community. The health plan. Here for you.
Nate Vermillion has checked in as the new pitcher for Frostburg. Vermillion, a redshirt senior out of Davidsonville, Maryland, Archbishop Spalding High School, Tom.
Yeah, Vermillion, 1-3 on the season, but look at some of these numbers. A 1.80 ERA in 20 innings pitched. Opposing teams hitting just .213 against him this year. Struck out 20, walked just 4, allowed no home runs. He has given up 2 triples, though, but 16 hits allowed, 8 runs allowed, just 4 of those earned. So this guy, definitely an arm that the Bobcats turn to when they're trying to keep the other team off the base paths off the scoreboard.
So there will be a pinch hitter here for West Virginia State. So we got a new pitcher and a new batter in the Yellow Jacket lineup. Carson Fry out of Winfield, a freshman. He steps in for Spolrich, who had struck out twice and grounded to third. 1-1 the count. 1-2 to Carson Fry. One-two pitch, swing and a miss, and a strikeout for Vermillion. One away here in the top of the 8th inning. So Aiden Paulson will check in now, and Paulson's had a good day at the plate. Singled and scored in the 3rd, doubled in the 4th, reached on an error in the 7th and would score a run. A nice job out there in center field, though he was charged with an error. One ball and one strike. Two balls and one strike for the junior out of Fairmont. Bridgeport make that. Fairmont and Concord get set to play later today here, and one center fielder to another as Paulson drills that one deep to Brian Scott for the second out. So that Concord-Fairmont State game will be an elimination contest.
As you can look over at the flags, Wynn not really doing much of anything. That ball just kept carrying. Thought it had a chance, but center fielder Scott heels on the warning track out there to make the play.
Kyle Waters will step in now. Lifted one to second. Hammers this one foul. Had the 2-run home run in the 3rd. Lined out to the shortstop in the 4th and struck out in the 7th. You got a base runner on board. You trail by 2. And a called strike 2 on Waters, the All-Mountain East Conference performer. Greg Keaton in the first third base coaching box for State. Wyatt Shears at first for West Virginia State under the guidance of head coach Sean Lloyd. Runner goes, firing down. Will be a breeze, but in at second will be Nate Bittinger. Bittinger again running for Ethan Barnitz. One-two pitch, and this one hit hard, and that will be in center field for a base hit. Greg Keaton going to wave him home, and scoring for the Yellow Jackets will be Bittinger from second. An RBI single for West Virginia State's Waters, and State closes the gap at 7-6.
A big hit by Waters there here in the 8th inning. State draws within 1 run, and third RBI of the game to go with that 2-run home run he hit in the 3rd.
And now stepping in will be Michael Bittinger. Flew out to center in the 1st, singled in the 3rd and scored. Flew out to left, grounded out to 2nd.
Not much of a lead over there at first for Waters. I think they were just trying to catch him napping. And check over there.
The 0-1 fouled off, 0-2 the count. Greg Losh, our home plate umpire. Chris Richards at first. Mark Mail is at third. Vermillion guns over again. And now they're going to advance Waters. Anthony Williams wants an explanation. A 7-6 game here. Michael Bittinger behind in the count. No balls, 2 strikes.
I think Frostburg just trying to get some clarity there.
Bittinger, younger brother Nate, scoring here, 7-6. Products of Wheeling Park High School in the state's northern panhandle, and this one drilled foul down the first base side.
Wheeling Park's had some good guys go through there. Michael Grove spent some time in the major leagues, was an outstanding pitcher for the West Virginia Mountaineers.
And down through the years, that Ohio Valley has produced a lot of great athletes. Mikey Guy scoops it up, guns it on to Doyle McNew, and the inning will come to an end for West Virginia State. Yellow Jackets picking up a run. The Bobcats of Frostburg leading at 7-6 as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning here at the 2025 Mountain East Conference Baseball Tournament. You're watching live coverage on the MEC Digital Network being presented by Cardinal Chevrolet.
Attention all car buyers, it's deal time at the all-new Cardinal Chevrolet. Come see the team at Cardinal Chevrolet and let us show you what a great deal really looks like. No games, no gimmicks, just great prices on all the Chevys you love. If you want to save a buck on your next car or truck, come see us at Cardinal Chevrolet. Silverados, Equinox, Blazers, all recently reduced and ready for immediate delivery. Our best deals, your best time to buy. The all-new Cardinal Chevrolet. Exit 34 of I-64 in Hurricane, West Virginia. Together, let's drive.
The people here are fantastic.
My classmates rock.
I haven't met anybody that I don't like here. It is definitely a very diverse university.
My roommates from Sweden, Germany,
Caribbean, so many places.
The academics has been stellar as well.
The professors are very nice here.
Every single person within the classroom feels appreciated. The campus is absolutely beautiful.
Everything's a close, easy walk.
I will recommend this place to everyone.
I feel so at home here.
Back here inside Go-Mart Ballpark, where Frostburg leads West Virginia State 7-6. Scoreless through 2. A pair of 2-run home runs in the 3rd for West Virginia State. Frostburg finally getting a hit in the bottom of the 4th that came off the bat of Jackson Shalleck. It was a 3-run shot. State would add a run in the top of the 7th, a big 4-run 7th for the Bobcats. State gets one back in the top of the 8th. So here we are in the bottom of the inning. C.J. Carmichael out of Lancaster, Ohio, to Bloom Carroll High School. 2 balls and no strikes. He flew out to center in the first, grounded out to second in the third, grounded out to third base in the fourth, and grounded out to the first baseman in the 7th.
I think Carmichael a little frustrated with himself after that one. Didn't miss it by much.
New left fielder in the lineup for the Yellow Jackets. Carter Ruffner, a senior out of Richmond, Kentucky, Madison Central High. 3 balls, 1 strike here to C.J. Carmichael. The redshirt freshman shortstop, and that will be in there for a called strike 2. Mikey Guy on deck, Ryan Boma to follow. Anthony Williams going to have a word with C.J. Carmichael. Point Park opened the tournament yesterday, a run rule victory over Concord, 15-5. UC gunning for a 4th consecutive MEC baseball title, opened with a 9-3 victory over Charleston. And that will be ball 4. Carmichael draws the walk to begin the bottom of the 8th inning. Point Park will get the loser of this game. Charleston will face the winner. Meanwhile, we have a game coming up between Concord and Fairmont. One of those two will be eliminated. The winner will stay alive. Mikey Guy steps in, fouls off the first offering. Brandon Morrison, the freshman from Plantation, Florida, trying to keep this Frostburg lead at just 1 run. This one drilled into right center, and that one is deep and gone. Well, they say the man of the hour. Well, how about the guy of the hour? Mikey Guy with a 2-run shot. Frostburg's 2nd home run of the game.
First guy out there to congratulate him, starting pitcher Patrick Bauer. He's fired up. Mikey Guy has his back after the MEC Pitcher of the Year. Bit of a rough outing here early, but Bobcats have battled back, now have a 3-run lead here in the 8th inning. It's 9-6.
Well, Morrison's appearance concludes here. Sean Lloyd will make a change. We will take a break and return here in just a moment to Go-Mart Ballpark. Frostburg on top, 9-6 against West Virginia State.
For over 4 decades, the health plan is called West Virginia Home. It all started with a vision to serve our community with pride and integrity. We've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming part of its fabric. We've been here through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Because at the health plan, we don't just work here, we live here. Proudly serving West Virginia since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community. The health plan. Here for you.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student-athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student-athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student-athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages. They make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Well, Tom, another area kid, Hunter McSweeney from down the road, Cabell Midland High School, checks into the lineup as the next pitcher for West Virginia State, the fifth that Sean Lloyd has used today.
13th appearance of the season for the former Cabell Midland Knight. 1-0 record on the year. Just started one game, so mostly used in relief. He's got a 6.62 earned run average, 17 2/3 innings pitched. He's allowed 24 hits, 13 runs, all of them earned. He's also walked 13, struck out 15, allowed 1 home run. Opposing teams, however, batting .348 against him this season.
Well, big rip, a 2-run shot by Mikey Guy. No outs here in the bottom of the 8th. 1-1 the count to Ryan Boma. Singled, hit by a pitch, flew out to center, and hit by another pitch. He scored a run in the 7th, that 4-run 7th. And 2 are in here in the bottom of the 8th. Let me correct myself. Boma had a walk in the 2nd. Hit by a pitch in the 3rd. Fly to center in the 5th and hit by a pitch in the 7th. 2-2 the count. It took Frostburg until that 4th inning to get a hit. And then it was a big one. Hanging tough is Boma. C.J. Carmichael walked to lead off the 8th, and Mikey Guy drove him home with a home run for the Bobcats. Their second of the day. Firing in there, and that is a called strike 3.
Boma knew it, too. He watched that one go by and just had to nod his head as he took the stroll back to the dugout.
And if you didn't know, Greg Losh let us know. Great job by the home plate umpire. So 1 away here, and that brings up Jake Holler, the designated hitter. He struck out in the 2nd, 3rd, popped up to the second baseman in the 5th, and singled. Actually, this is Weeman, who was the pinch hitter in the 7th inning and got the single. Holler's day was the 2 strikeouts and popping up to the second baseman in the 5th. So Weeman came in there in the 7th, got a single, and would later score.
And one of those 4 runs on the board in the 7th inning for the Bobcats. They've added 2 more so far here in the 8th.
1-2 the count. Holler was the DH for giving way to Weeman, who is a redshirt junior. Archbishop Spalding. Gloving at 3rd is Gunther, firing on to Pfizer, and there are now 2 outs. Doyle McNew will now step in. McNew walked in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th. Flies out to left in the 6th and singled and drove home a run in the 7th. He looks at a called strike 1 from Hunter McSweeney. Frostburg aiming for its 35th win of the season. As McNew swings and misses, State trying to collect its 28th victory of the campaign. This one drilled into left, and that will drop. Base hit by McNew. He'll stand up at second base. A double for McNew. 2 straight base hits for the outstanding first baseman of Frostburg.
Yeah, McNew dropped that one just inside fair territory down that left field line. And cruises into second base with a stand-up double here in the 8th.
Kay DeBreeze will step in now. He struck out in the 2nd, walked in the 4th, grounded to 3rd in the 6th, and had an RBI single in the 7th. If you are Sean Lloyd, just want to see this young pitcher. Ball gets away from Overitis, and that will have McNew trucking to 3rd. Just about to say, get out of this inning. You trail by 3, and you just cannot handle any more damage with 1 at bat left. So the count is 2 balls and no strikes to a Breeze. Upstairs, and that's ball 3. Manny Hall is on deck. McSweeney rifles it in there, and that will be ball 4. So there will be runners at the corners, and Manny Hall, he hit into a fielder's choice in the 2nd to end the inning, struck out in the 4th, walked in the 6th, and then had a big-time base hit in the 7th, Tom.
Yeah, Hall has played a solid right field today, but came up big with the bat in the 7th. I was about to say, no action in the State bullpen, but they've got guys up and going now.
This one hit to the second baseman, Bittinger, on to Pfizer, and that will do it. Hall showing great speed down the first base line, but Yellow Jackets get the out in the inning. 2 more come across for Frostburg, and the Bobcats lead at 9-6 as we head to the 9th inning here at the 2025 Mountain East Conference Baseball Tournament on the MEC Digital Network, being presented by Cardinal Chevrolet.
What's possible when you have the freedom to explore things that inspire you? To be a part of a community that supports and challenges you. Where can you go to find the space and time to reach your goals? Who can you become when you're able to make connections in a place where you belong? Find out what's possible at Frostburg State University.
No weekend plans? Try some of ours. With a generous serving of historic sites, foodie eccentricities, and brewery diversions, the happiest hours start here. Mountaineer Country. Come, go wild.
Nate Vermillion is still out on the mound for Frostburg, and will try to close it out here for the Bobcats, who lead it by a count of 9-6. Battling back from a 4-0 deficit in this game, and right now 3 outs away from advancing here in the 2025 Mountain East Conference Baseball Tournament. West Virginia State will start it out with Nate Paulson, Brody Gunther, and Connor Pfizer, hitters 3, 4, and 5 in the Jacket lineup. Big day for Paulson, singled in the first, 2-run home run in the 3rd. He grounded out to the 3rd baseman in the 5th inning and walked in the 7th, and he looks at ball 1 from Vermillion. stand out from Bridgeport High School under the great Bobby Shields. 1-1 the count. Playing alongside younger brother Aiden Paulson. The 1-1 pitch, and boy, Vermillion. They're down there, 1-2 the count.
There's a couple of Paulson's former teammates, members of that Fairmont State team, playing after this over in the stands, watching to see how this one finishes up.
And coming up, it's Fairmont State and Concord. One team going to stay alive. The other will be sidelined from tournament play. 2-2 pitch from Vermillion. This one hit hard to the shortstop. Backhanded there by Carmichael. Long throw. Got him. Big stretch by McNew. One away here in the top of the ninth.
Boy, Paulson was hustling down the line there. Great play deep in the hole by Carmichael. Going to his right, able to fire back across the diamond and get that one as we see the replay here. Carmichael with the backhand, smooth transition, gets that one out of his glove fast and puts him out over at first.
Brody Gunther steps in, looks a ball one. He singled in the first, flew out to center in the third, to right in the fifth. Hits this one, it hits the pitcher's mound. Carmichael scoops it up onto McNew for out number 2.
The Yellow Jackets potentially down to their final out of the ball game here.
Gunther got that hit in the first inning. Again, flies out to center, right, walks in the 7th, and now grounds out to the shortstop. So 2 away. Connor Pfizer caught looking in the first inning to end the inning. Popped up to McNew at first, flew out to right, and then brought home a run when he drew a walk. Nine hits for each team. Carmichael, this could be a 1-2-3 inning for the Frostburg shortstop, and it is. He handles all 3 outs, and that will do it. Frostburg trailed 4-0, and they fight back and get the victory 9-6, and they will face off with the University of Charleston tomorrow at 3:30. West Virginia State will play against Point Park and try to stay alive in a game that will be staged at high noon. So it's all over here, and West Virginia State has fallen to Frostburg State 9-6. We will come back and recap it in just a moment as you watch live coverage of the 2025 Mountain East Conference Baseball Tournament here on the MEC Digital Network, presented by Cardinal Chevrolet.
Attention all car buyers, it's deal time at the all-new Cardinal Chevrolet. Come see the team at Cardinal Chevrolet and let us show you what a great deal really looks like. No games, no gimmicks, just great prices on all the Chevys you love. If you want to save a buck on your next car or truck, come see us at Cardinal Chevrolet. Silverados, Equinox, Blazers, all recently reduced and ready for immediate delivery. Our best deals, your best time to buy. The all-new Cardinal Chevrolet. Exit 34 of I-64 in Hurricane, West Virginia. Together, let's drive.
Team with a river in the middle. Take me to my hometown. My hometown is your hometown.
Plan has called West Virginia home. It all started with a vision to serve our community with pride and integrity. We've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming part of its fabric. We've been here through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Because at the Health Plan, we don't just work here, we live here. The Health Plan, a proud corporate partner with the Mountain East Conference.
No weekend plans? Try some of ours. From unrivaled outdoor adventure you won't find anywhere else in the world, to hometown plates and platters that pair well with the local craft beers. The happiest hours start here. Mountaineer Country. Come, go wild.
Well, it's Frostburg winning it over West Virginia State 9-6 in this battle of the number 2 seeds in the 2025 Mountain East Conference Baseball Tournament. Frostburg, the number 2 seed from the North State of West Virginia State, the number 2 seed of the South, the Yellow Jackets from Institute, and the Bobcats from Frostburg, Maryland. Good game, and it's won by Frostburg by a final of 9-6. Coverage of today's game was produced by Video Productions in conjunction with the Mountain East Conference and presented by Cardinal Chevrolet. Our great crew of Ryan Shepard, Robbie Mounts, Cade Burgess, Parker Withrow, Jackie Donnell, and the executive producer, Video Productions, Butch Mounts. Enjoy doing the game here with Tom Bragg. And Tom, it's a game that had a little bit of everything, and Frostburg at the early deficit of 4-0, but it was a big blow by Jackson Shalik, a 3-run shot that got them back into the game. State had a pair of 2-run home runs in that third, but that Shalik home run really gave Frostburg some life, and the Bobcats would go on to win it by the score of 9-6. Each team with 9 hits, a couple of errors by State, and 1 by Frostburg.
Yeah, a lot of seemed like maybe a lack of energy. They just didn't seem woken up quite yet when they got here, Frostburg State, but that big shot in the 4th inning by Jackson Shalik, 3-run home run, it certainly woke them up and woke the bats up. That was their first hit of the ball game, as you said, went on to finish with 9 hits, 9 runs in this game, and yeah, a little bit of everything, back and forth. We saw the best pitcher in the league, according to the league, the Mountain East Pitcher of the Year, Patrick Bauer, got hit around a little bit early in this one, but the bats came back to help him out, and they get the win and move on to take on the University of Charleston tomorrow.
Yeah, Joe Pipham got the win. He's now 8-2 on the season. Nate Vermillion got the save, and the loss issued to Zane Loveday, young man from nearby Bidwell, Ohio. So, State still alive. They'll play Point Park tomorrow at noon. Meanwhile, Frostburg advances and will take on the University of Charleston, and an elimination game coming up between Concord and Fairmont State. Well, Tom, really enjoyed it, my man.
Absolutely. This was a blast, Mark.
And Frostburg advances, and they have a big game coming up. And, of course, for State, it will be an elimination contest for them. They got to knock off Point Park, which they have done twice this season, in order to stay alive. So West Virginia State now 27-22 on the season. Frostburg improves to 35-15. So for analyst Tom Hunter and our great crew, I'm Mark Martin. We say so long from Go-Mark Ballpark here in Charleston, where the final score is Frostburg State University 9, West Virginia State University 6 in what was Game 1 on Day 2 in this 2025 Mountain East Conference Baseball Tournament. Today's game, again, produced by Video Productions in conjunction with the Mountain East Conference. We thank you for watching live coverage of the 2025 Mountain East Conference Baseball Tournament here on the MEC Digital Network.